Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechViews and Help. And today I'm going to show you how to make a batch file to remotely help someone out. So say for example in my case where I got someone from the older crowd and I have to help them out once in a while with computer basic or even advanced things, and it's better for me to actually remotely connect to their computers so I can see what they're doing even though I'm not physically there. I each and every time I have to explain how to set up the remote connection so I can see what they're seeing, and I'm tired of that, so I'm going to have it where they can click one button. It gives them a list of instructions, and they don't have to hunt for all this stuff. They can click one button that says help, which would be the batch file, and all they have to do is email me a invitation file in order to help them out remotely. But before we jump on into this, let's go into a quick personal advertisement. This will explain how you can help me out, and in case if you want to help me out either by spreading the word with my channel or some financial, if you want to donate some money so it can help me grow the channel much more than I can do just by myself. Let's jump on into that, and then after that we're going to get into how to do this particular project. Thanks for sticking around during this transition. Now if you want to help me out at all, either by financial or other means, then feel free to click the Patreon button to go to my Patreon campaign, and that way you can donate there and check out what I plan to do with the money. Or you can click the PayPal button and you can donate there. You can either donate one time there or do a monthly recurrence. And lastly, if you don't want to help out with money either because you just don't have it or whatever it is, then feel free to share this video and share my other videos, and please check out the top button to go to my main channel. But anyways, hope that you like this video, and let's bring you back to the actual video. Welcome back. Now the program that we're going to be using comes with Windows. I know this is back from Windows 7, Vista, 8, 10. I don't know if it's with XP. I'm pretty sure it is, so you might want to check it out. I'm going to show you how to access it in case if you're unsure, so we can figure this out together. But as far as things goes, a lot of people will probably screaming out and say, why don't you use TeamSpeak? Why don't you use this? Why don't you use that? The reason why I'm using Windows Remote Assistant is simply that I use Avast Anywhere, Access Anywhere, for pretty much most of my maintenance and help stuff if it's a family computer or one of my computers. And that works great unless if the resolution is off, and since we're dealing with an older person's computer, the resolution's off, so it's easier on their eyes for day-to-day use, which is fine. So what has to happen, and what I was doing before, is going through TeamSpeak. TeamSpeak's great, in fact it's one of the better alternatives, but the problem is two things. One, if you use it so many times, it's going to think that you're using it for commercial use, so therefore it's going to give us some money, and that's not cool, especially for doing something very important or something very important happens. The second and the most important thing is the explaining how to get there is a pain. I can easily email them a link and so on and so on. But last time what happened is I had to tell them to open up the start menu, the start button, and it took 10 minutes to explain where the start button is so they actually open up, and their thing doesn't auto hide. So yeah, it's a challenge at times, and we're going to try to get rid of that challenge altogether so they click one button and get this. Now from here, what we're going to do is what they would do is click the invite someone you trust. Then they'll have a choice, since I'm not physically there, this is out of question. so they can send by email or send over the web. The problem is if you send by email, the person has to have Outlook on their computer. These people don't. Keep in mind how Outlook is, the layout and everything, and it's complicated as all out. If they're using something like Gmail and Yahoo Mail, and they're using Yahoo Mail, if they're using something like that, even AOL Mail or whatever, it's very, 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 very simple. The layout is very simple, and unfortunately, Outlook is complicated as all out. I mean, you got more buttons you have, the more problems you can have, and the more choices they have to make, so the more complicated it is for them. So you want to show them what they need, when they need it, and nothing more. Kind of like in lean manufacturing, for anyone who's been trained in that, like myself. So what they need to do is simply send this invitation as a file, and then they can save it wherever. And if that comes up, then press yes. Give it a second or two, and they send that file out to, and that will actually close that, open them multiple times, and they can send that file or put it into an email coming to me, copy this password, paste it into the email that's going to me. I open up that file, they keep this open, I open up the file, it asks me for the username and password. In fact, I can actually show you what happens. Let's go into control panel. And this is one way how you tell if you have this ability. Let's just go to control panel and just type in that. It's easiest. So it says I already have it. And what I would see is this. I type in the stuff. It's probably going to say you're on the same computer or something. So yeah, it wouldn't work there obviously, but you get my point. So how do we make it into a batch file so they can click one button and that comes up, and maybe even a guide, a picture guide to go through that, and I already got something set up. So what we need to do is find a file, find where it is, so we can open up control panel. There's multiple ways to get to it, but I found this is the easiest for me. So we open up through here, and we can close that now. We can right click that and right click the Windows remote. Don't right click the invitation. The reason for it gives you a separate location, which does not help. It actually acts like if you click the help someone. So you want to make sure that you click the this one if you have an option. And we need to find this file, find the location. But first off, let me open up my batch folder. Let's delete this real quick. Sorry about that. So find where you want to store your batch folder, the batch files. So I store all my batch files within here, but I suggest, since you're trying to help someone out, you're trying to make it as easy as possible, put it on their home screen, put it on their desktop. What I would do is put the batch files in a batch folder like this, and then put a shortcut to their desktop, and that way if they accidentally delete their shortcut, you can pretty much still get it back easily. So it's not that hard. They didn't really do any actual damage. So what you need to do, if you don't have one, just make one in the documents or whatever, and open and go to new file or new, and select the text document or notepad, and then open that up. And what we want to do is automatically right click or click the file, click save as, and then what we need to do is type in something like help, then period BAT. Very, very important, because if you don't put that period BAT, it's just going to make a new notepad. So this makes the actual batch file. which does nothing because, well, it's there's nothing there. And it probably actually, I think it gives you an error. So yeah, since there's nothing there, it's just going to give you an error. To edit the batch file, in case if you want to do it later, which we're going to do right now, just right click on it and click edit. And you can actually see, in case if you got your stuff right, you can actually see the code in the batch file right here. So what we're going to do is, since we have this, let's actually close that on out. Since we have this, to test out if we can open this up, what we need to do is type in start and type in or copy and paste this part. So it's MSRA, and then we want to put the file type, so period exe, as you see here is period exe. And then we can just say pause or, you know, leave it as is. And as you see here, it just added it. So let's double click on it and give it a second or two, and it works. Now if it doesn't work, I'm going to show you how to do that later. But what you want to probably do if you're going to help someone out, what you probably want to do is open up Paint right now, do a print screen, and make sure that this you can see this, and on Paint press paste, and it basically pastes in a screenshot of the entire screen. And what you can do is something like this, and basically say you know, where to click, type in whatever, blah blah, and go from there. So you can actually pull a picture up at the same time, and they know what to click and what to send you, so you know, so they know what to do, so it's quick and easy as possible on them and yourself, so you don't have to intervene as much. Eventually they're probably going to pick it up themselves, but for now you're just trying to make it as easy as possible. At least I am on my case. I don't know about you. So what we need to do is save as, and you need to find a location that they're not going to disturb. Believe it or not, especially if it's a wire connection, there's no point in not doing this. But believe it or not, what you need to do is go to the C drive, users, public, and public pictures. And this is probably the safest place you're going to end up putting the picture, because they probably don't know how to get there, and they probably ain't going to disturb that, and no one's probably going to really go into there and disturb that. I mean, how many times have you went into the public user end? How many times have you went into this and actually did anything in it? It's probably none. So this is probably the safest place to put the picture guide. But unfortunately, this is not in the path directory, which I'm going to talk about in a second. So it does us very little good. Now I already have this saved, so I'm just going to cancel this. And to test if we can do this, if it's in a path directory already, wherever you saved it, just type in start and then the name of the file that you just made and the extension, the file type. Make sure you save. Let's double click on this again. Give it a second or two, and we got an error. It says that it doesn't know where it is. It can't find it. So how do we make it where it finds it? Well, what we need to do is go back into control panel, and we type in advanced, and as we see here, view advanced system settings. There's multiple ways to get to this. Oh, and by the way, you need to make sure that your remote is on, so click on remote and allow. I almost forgot about that. But under the Advanced tab, go to Environment Variables. Go down to Path There it is. Click edit. We need to find the this. So what we need to do is highlight this, press copy, go to the end, very end, very important. Put this thing, semicolon, whatever you call it, space, and then paste it in. Press OK, press OK, and press OK. And now let's try it again. And it opened up, so it worked. And if you this part doesn't open up, that's how you add it. You just need to know its location. So its location for me is under the System32 files. To find its location, what you do is, again, go here, properties, and this shows the location, the name of the file, so we know where it is. And if you're going to search for it, then you copy and paste that in, and it should direct you directly to it. There should be a few things to name it, but based on the image and everything, you should pretty much figure it out very quickly. And that's how you do it. So yeah, that's pretty much about it. And just make the picture guide like you want, whatever's easy for you, or then whatever. And then what I advise you to do is go to this to make it easy as possible so they don't see much. Echo off, echo period, echo period. I try to separate it by 3 or 4. Blah blah. This is echo period, echo period, echo period, pause, exit. And what this will do is, as I'll show you in a second, this will basically open up the that and that. It will not show the code as you might have seen in the past. In fact, we can move this. I'll show you. It took out the code for these first two things. So basically, as you can see from here, on the right side is where we started with echo off. On the left side is where we just did the first two, then echo off for the message. And as you see here, on the right side, it's a little easier. In fact, it's a lot easier for just about anyone. They don't see this. They don't have to guess what this is. They only see echo off. They will see these periods. But unfortunately, that's really, at least for my knowledge, that's the only way to do these spaces, so you can space out your stuff a bit, so it's easy for them to read. And then you can type in your message, tell them what to do. So you can say a image just came up, your thing just came up, and you can tell them to click. Press any button. So this is what the pause is the press any key, and they press any button, the exit actually closes the thing. So even if it was going to close before, you just made sure it did, because I have a few times where the thing, not in this case, but on several other batch files, where the batch file actually stayed open and I had to manually closed it. By putting exit at the end, it actually forced it to close. So it just told it to close. But I personally think this is the easier way to do it, because they don't see all the junk. they only see the useful information. They can click anything, close it, and go in their own way. And that way you can tell them to click the help button. The help button tells them what to do text-wise. They'll also bring up an image, show them what to do line by line, and then you can actually help them out remotely. So anyways, if you got any questions about this, then feel free to leave in the comment section. I know that this is not like cut and dry, but for your sake, if you're like me, this is probably gonna make it a ton more easier than to explain each and every time how to get to the TeamViewer, what to click, playing guessing games, because they might get a warning that comes up, and instead of having them read every single thing and read it to you over phone or whatever it may be, they can just see right here, this is the picture, this is what I need to click, this is the text, this is what I need to do, and go from there. Because I had a few times where they have to hunt for something, I know where it is, they have to hunt for something, I say it's on the bottom, it's on the bottom, it's on the bottom, and they're looking somewhere, but it's not where I want them to. Or I'd say it's on the top, and I'm at the actual top part, and they're looking below the address bar. I had that plenty of times, not just from these, but from many others, even across YouTube where I'm helping people. I've had that type of scenario. So it's not a one-time occurrence. It's with a lot of people that you will interface with, especially in this type of field. But anyways, if you do have any questions, then feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll try to help you out as best as possible. Also, if you have any tips on this to make it a little bit more easier than what I'm able to put out, feel free to leave that in the comment section, and that way we can look over it. But if this has helped you out, and if you liked it, please leave a like. If this hasn't helped you out and you don't like it, feel free to dislike, but also feel free to tell me why. And if you feel like that this is a great thing that I'm doing, then feel free to check out my Patreon campaign, and feel free to donate either by Patreon or by PayPal. But anyways, hope that you like this. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. Please feel free to visit the Patreon campaign, and please feel free to visit techviewsnap.com. Hope you have a great day. Bye.